Right, Shalom, Shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahawa Kakwadash, Yahweh, which is the only true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, because those are the men who I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am Mashiach Razakah from the tribe of Gad, coming through the spirit, and pretty much, I seen this article, and I don't know what the title of this lesson is. I'll probably title it once it gets uploaded. But this article is titled "Biden Warns of Real Food Shortage." It says following sanctions on Russia. So there's going to be a food shortage, man. All right. It says U.S. President Joe Biden, during speaking a media conference, it says after an extraordinary, it says NATO summit and group of 7 meeting at NATO headquarters of Brussels on March 24, 2022. President Biden's visit to Poland as his final stop in a visit of Europe this week, it says, offers him the chance to reassure a NATO ally nervous about the war just across his border. It says it will also be his chance to thank Poles for their remarkable outpouring of help to the Ukrainians fleeing Russia aggression and pay, it says, homage to the thousands of the U.S. troops deployed there. And it says Biden said Thursday that a food shortage is gonna be real following the sanctions that were placed on Russia by the U.S. government as a result of Russia President Vladimir Putin's invasion to Ukraine. It says, with regards to food shortage, yes, we did talk about food shortages and it's gonna be real, Biden said during a press conference at a NATO summit of Brussels, Belgium, following a meeting with other world leaders. It says the price of the sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. He added, it's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. So we're going to go through a food shortage. All right. Now, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone have been talking about this for years. All right. Prophesying out of the scriptures. So a food shortage is going to hit the U.S. All right. Now, when this happens, prices is going to increase. All right, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the sincere brothers like myself, been saying this for years, that there's going to be a food shortage. There's going to be famine of food. Prices is going to inflate. Gas prices are already inflated. Now the food is going to inflate. All right, due to the sanctions on Russia. So there's going to be a food shortage. All right, so prices of food is going to skyrocket. This is going into Jacob's trouble. If you want to read more about this, you can keep going down, but there's going to be a shortage coming to America. All right, and this is why you need to be seeking out your power. All right, who is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This is Jeremiah 30 and verse 5. For thus saith the Lord, anytime you see Lord in caps, it's talking about the Heavenly Father Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. We're not in a time of peace. I don't know how many times I have said this in my previous videos, but we're not in a time of peace. All right, we're in a time of fear. Gas prices is high right now. To fill your tank up, people are spending $80 to $90 to fill their tank up. And I'm talking about people that don't even have vehicles that's SUVs. They got regular cars. All right, people got regular vehicles, and they got to put $70 to $80 in their tank to fill their tank up. All right, we're not in a time of peace. People bugging out about that. All right, people bugging out about that. Now the food prices is going to increase. All right, so it's going to bug a lot of people out. All right. And this is verse 6. It says, as ye know and see whether a man doeth travail with child. And a man doesn't travail with child. A woman travails. All right. It says, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. This is going to bug a lot of people out. All right. This is going to bug a lot of people out. All right. When the food shortage, which is already here, when the food shortage is established, because it's already happening right now as I speak, but it's going to inflate. Basically what I'm saying, when the inflation comes, it's going to bug a lot of people out. Milk is going to go, milk is like $3 right now. Milk is going to go from $3 probably to probably $15 per gallon. That's going to bug a lot of people out, you know. Verse 7 says, Alice for that day is great, so there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And this is the time that we're coming into. This is going into the global economic collapse. All right. And once the global economic collapse takes place, that's what's the next step. Once the inflation of food pops off and people are not able to really get food like that because the money is already getting depleted, it's going to go into the new world order, the digital currency. All right. This is exactly what the Idumeans is trying to do. They're trying to bring forth a new agenda, which is going into that MOTB. All right. It says, Alice for that day is great, so there's none like it. Because the time that we're coming into is going to be never foreseen on earth before, ever. This is going to be a global thing. All right. A global thing. You ain't going to be able to escape it. All right. It says it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, the global economic collapse, the digital currency. You got to have the MOTB to work, to do anything. All right. But he shall be saved out of it. And that's talking about the hopeful elect. All right. I mean, that's talking about the elect. Salaki, because we're the hopeful elect. But this is talking about the elect. All right. The elect is going to be saved. But we got to go through Jacob's trouble. We got to first go through Jacob's trouble. All right. But that's talking about the elect. And this is Isaiah 24 and verse 10. It says the city of confusion, which is Babylon the Great. When you go into that word Babel, it means confusion. When it says Babylon the Great, which is in the scriptures, it's talking about the great confusion. It says the city of confusion, which is this place called America, is broken down. It says every house is shut up that no man may come in, because that's going into martial law. All right. The moment people are unable to get food, they're going to take matters into their own hand. It's going to go into uncivil arrest. Verse 11, it says there is a crying for wine in the streets. It says all joy is darkened. All joy is darkened. People are not going to be able to afford food, man. People got kids, you know. People married. People got kids. People got families, you know. This is going to bug a lot of people out. You know, they're not going to be able to get food no more. All joy is going to be darkened because gas inflation is already rising. All right, it's going up to damn near $6 where we at now. It says the merit of the land is gone. Verse 12, it says in the city is left desolation and the gate is smitten with destruction. And that's what's getting ready to come. All right, all joy is darkened. You can't leave. People can't go to state traveling now because of the gas inflation. You know, it's bugging people out. This stuff is causing people to bug out. You know. This is exactly the things that are taking place. This is what is happening. But you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indian, the Lord has his men out, and you don't want to get this truth. You want to keep being, you know, American citizen and being bugged out. Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Because you ain't getting this truth. You're rejecting it, and you want to keep, well, I'm going to hang on to the ride. I'm just going to enjoy the ride while I still can. You don't want to have that type of spirit. Verse 23, it says, turn you out my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Verse 24, because I have called, ye refused. You didn't want this truth. You rejected it. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. Verse 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. You didn't want correction. You waved it off. You still wanted to enjoy the ride. Verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. A calamity is what? A disastrous event, devastating moment. All right, a disastrous event. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity, and I will mock when your fear cometh. Because you mock the prophets. What does the scriptures say? For the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he also reap. And that's what's going to happen. The Lord's going to laugh at your calamity, because you're going to be bugged out in that time. You're going to know what to do. People are going to take matters into their own hand. Crime, that's leading into crime increasing. Verse 27, it says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish shall come upon you. Verse 28, it says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. And that's going into famine of the word. Amos 8 and 11 through verse 12. All right, it's going into famine of the word. You're not going to be able to get the truth. Verse 29, for they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. Right, you hated knowledge. You didn't want correction, because the Lord has his prophets set out. The men that are out on the street corners prophesying, those are the Lord's men. The elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Those are the men that you need to get this truth from. All right, I don't know how many times we got to keep on saying this in this lesson for you to get it. But when you do realize it, it's going to be too late. All right. Verse 30, it says, they would none of my counsel, they despise all my reproof. You didn't want correction. So now you're going to be a messed up being in that time. All right. I got another precept. Let's get it. This is 2nd Esdras. I'll start at, I'll go to the main point. I'll start at verse 10. Yeah. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, which is this place called America. Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before. Now, ancient Egypt fell already. And this scripture is not talking about ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt fell already. All right. If you look at Egypt now, there's nothing there. All right. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. That's talking about this place called America, which you see is happening right now. Verse 12, it says, Egypt shall mourn, which is America. The people that's in America, this place called America, Esau's kingdom. Verse 12, it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with a plague and a punishment that Yahweh Bashimashai shall bring upon it. So the Lord is going to intensify his wrath. He's going to intensify his judgment. Verse 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. That word woe means warning or destruction. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. And when you look up the meaning of that word sedition, as a matter of fact, I'll get that out real quick. Salaki. When you get the meaning of sedition, it says sedition, rebellion, uprising, revolt. It says concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority. It says violent strife between faction, civil or religious disorder, riot, rebelliousness against authority. And that's what's going to happen. The so-called citizens here in this place called America are going to rise up to rebel against authority of the system, of the American system, and they're going to fight against this place. That's what's going to happen, because people are going to be starving. People are going to take matters into their own hands. All right. People are already fed up with trusting this place called America. So that's the meaning for sedition when you go into the etymology. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition, rebellion against authority among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? They don't have control over the population here. The so-called citizens here, they're not going to have control no more. They're going to have to send out the National Guards, they're going to send out the military, etc. The UN, they're going to have to send all these guys out, which will lead into what? Martial law. Because that's what's going to happen. Rebellion, authority, uncivil arrest, it's going to be horrible. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go in the city and shall not be able. That's when martial law is going to take place. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, because the things that people are going to see is going to blow their mind. They're going to be seeing some crazy stuff out here going on. It's going to bug a lot of people out. All right. It says, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. And the neighbor is meaning who? Your best friend. All right. Your day one. It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Your own person, your own day one homeboy that you trust, is he gonna betray you? All right, family members is gonna betray you, etc. Everybody's gonna be betraying one another. All right, it says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, meaning take everything you got. Because there's gonna be some guys out there that have day one homeboys, you know, they're gonna help that dude out. Here, I got some food for you and some food for me. But that Jake that they gave food to, who they trust, that's they supposedly day one, they gonna want more. They gonna be like, look, this ain't enough. You know, we just gonna have to rob everything you got. You know, he gave us this. You know, they gonna be grateful with that, but they gonna be like, how we gonna eat for the next couple of weeks? And it's gonna, you know, it's gonna hit their mind like, okay, I'm just gonna rob this guy and take everything he got. You know. And they're going to take everything you got. It says, and spoil their goods, rob, take everything you have. It says, because of the lack of bread, which is the lack of food, and for great tribulation, because the things that are going to take place. All right. People are going to betray people. All right. A lot of things is going to happen. All right. It says, Biden warns of a real food shortage following sanctions on Russia. So this is going to affect a lot of things in this society. Food shortages on food. It's gonna affect a lot of people. People are gonna really bug out. So hey man, we in these last days, man. All right. So Lord willing, that's what's edifying. I want to give honors and glories and praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yashai, Bahashim Kakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Till the next time I say, shalom.